What is going on to you, Gemini? So, you Geminis actually have the Lovers, the Star card, and you have the World. So, these three cards are, well, the Lovers is Gemini, right? Whenever it is that I get the major arcana for the zodiac sign, it means that you're taking matters into your own hands. You're being a little bit more proactive in your approach to finding a connection. Now, you Geminis are actually taking a proactive approach towards finding a connection. Before, it was about you Geminis kind of taking a break from the regular people that you have become accustomed to, and now it was about you Geminis having to learn how to be accustomed to hanging out more by yourself, right? Because when you're doing your own thing, you're not going to have the same individuals who are mess ups in your life anymore, especially if you're serious about doing right and actually, having some form of upward mobility. You can't have a bunch of knuckleheads, standing next to you as it is that you essentially are upwardly mobile. You can't do that because first of all, they're going to do things to try to pull you down. And even if they don't do things that's going to try to pull you down, their mentality is so caught up with the warped sense of reality and the dysfunction, it's just going to make them a bigger dysfunctional person the more money they make, right? Especially because they're standing next to you. So that was my cat opening and closing the door. Closing the door a little bit. But so you Geminis pretty much want to be able to find someone that you can be, someone that you can build a real solemn, a real relationship with, and that, you don't necessarily even need like a bunch of friends and everything like that, and as big of a social circle as you Geminis once needed. If you really ask me, Geminis have a big social circle when they're like kids and teenagers, and over the course of your life, unless you're one of those type of Geminis, right? A lot of the times, you Geminis learn through time that you're gonna have to kind of shave off or shave off or taper down on a couple of people, right, over the years, because not everybody really have your best interest at mind, nor do they really see things from a long-term perspective the way that you Geminis do. So, but again, sometimes that can work in reverse, depending on if you Geminis didn't really have a very strong foundation as far as a place that you can really call home, right? Like a Kendrick Lamar who kind of moved from place to place a little bit, this can also be, a marker for you Geminis where you could end up making a lot of great connections, right? Social connections, romantic, friendship wise, and it increases over the years. But for you Geminis, this is more so of a, whatever fits for you. But I'm talking about relationship wise, more so in a sense of, you Geminis looking for someone where you're just looking for one particular person. I don't really see you Geminis looking for a bunch of people, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, or more. I just see you Geminis looking for one person where you can have something special with, and like, the two of you can be kind of like, the two of you can be insiders, and everyone else that is not part of the romantic relationship as outsiders. So it's like the two of you, have inside little jokes and stuff like this, and the things that the Nine of Wands and the Hierophant, because it's because what I'm seeing here is that, for you Geminis, it sucks not being able to actually, find someone as of yet because of how difficult things can be, right? You have individuals that when they find someone that is nice or whatever, or is good to them, they don't really know how to be good with that and actually find that attractive. They want someone that they act like they like, that treats them terribly, to give them the same kind of treatment of the person that they are not into. And it goes to show you how stupid it is, because what the person doesn't really seem to understand is they are caught up with the treatment. It's not just about the package. It doesn't even really matter about the wrapping, right? It doesn't matter about the wrapping. What it matters about is the treatment that stirs a person's ego to want to treat a person better, so that the other person can drop their guard and really start validating them, right? But it's stupid, because if they want you Geminis to treat them the same way that the other person treated them, they would end up losing, quote unquote, losing attraction for you Geminis too. So it's just a big ball of confusion on some of these people's delusional part anyway. But the Nine of Wands represents, it definitely is frustrating, right? The Nine of Wands represents a person's peace of mind, and it represents how I definitely get it. It's been a very difficult road, where it's like it seems like the meaning of relationships and how you interact with others has significantly changed over the years, and your definition of connections have changed big time over the years. It morphed, and because it morphed, the Hierophant represents you have learned that level of spiritual development, because things for you have been changing, and the spiritual development is the catalyst for why you've been making so much changes, why you've stopped talking to certain people, potentially even romantically, right? To now be single and ready to mingle, actually getting to know others now romantically. The Nine of Swords, like I was talking about, represents that peace. The nine cards represents frustration. It represents perseverance, right? So, and turmoil. It represents dealing with something. So the Nine of Swords, like I said, it represents the lack of internal peace that you Geminis have went from not having to the Death card. Actually, the Death card and the Tower card, both Scorpio, actually being able to achieve. But only from trials, tribulations, things not going your way, and realizing that part of it is the people whom you hang out with. That's the problem too. And that in order for you to change your life from the ground up, where you meet better partners, it's not a guarantee that you're going to find a better partner. No one is guaranteed a great or wonderful significant other. But what helps is the fact that you don't have a significant other as you find that person, and you're not being delusional and dysfunctional. Because if you were to get with that special person, you would essentially turn them off for good, right? Because of how dysfunctional anyone can be, right? So the Death card and the Empress, they may not necessarily think of you as being stupid or anything, but maybe they may not have thought of you as being mature or spiritually developed yet, where you Geminis knew or know what it is that you want. They would have still looked at you like you're still in the immaturity phase, because you ripping and running around in the streets with goofies. Sometimes, real talk, sometimes your social circle, whether it's your friends and stuff like this, and will ruin your chance at relationships. It doesn't even necessarily have to be friends per se. It could be somebody that you're dealing with romantically, but it could also ruin your value, because the baggage that come along with it, but also the fact that this person can be embarrassing, and them being embarrassing or whatever, you bringing them along, other people see you, and then they remember you, and they're like, yeah, I ain't gonna hang out with you because off of that one time. So why that's important in the first place is the Page of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. The Page of Pentacles speaks to, Page of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, right, speaks to one thing that you're not going to tell somebody, per se. You might, but you may not necessarily tell it to them in that detailed kind of way. Is the Page of Pentacles. They actually have to really get to know you. You Geminis really want to take the time right now to really peep game to see if a person is even asking you questions to find out about who you are. You know what I mean? So let's clarify the Page of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Two of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, the Emperor. Yeah, it should be give and take. And if it's not give and take, then you Geminis will have to leave them alone. Anyone that you meet. Because what I'm seeing is that you're not necessarily meeting one specific person. You Geminis are trying to see who's out here. So it's not about needing a specific person per se. It's really about trying to find someone that's really right for you in the first place. And the Two of Cups and the Ace of the Two of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, excuse me, is about how things should work. You know, the two of you should be putting in some form of an effort, and that if the two of you are not, you're the only one putting in effort, then if you find that this person is putting in a lot of effort and you Geminis aren't really interested, you Geminis will probably just tell this person that you don't want to have to talk to them anymore. You know, no harm, no disrespect. It's just that you're not feeling them. Because that's the other catch of the equation. That's the other part of the equation too. You know, sometimes you don't necessarily always have to find this person attractive, but you just know that you and this person aren't necessarily really compatible in that way. And you can always just let the person know, hey, you know, no hard feelings, but I'm not really into you like that. And that's cool. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. The Emperor is about, because you've been through too much to not just have, you know, you've been through too much to have someone try to use your body. You know, they just want to take you for granted. But that's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. There's a link in the comment section below called the Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website, a Wix website, where there's ways to get a personal reading, but it also have a website, Amazon, specific part of Amazon where you can actually pick up my books specifically. Go ahead and check those out. Or you can contact me at Kareemspiritworks at yahoo.com.